do you think about when you think about the word diversity? For many people, when they think of diversity, they think about, what do you think about when you think about the word diversity? Many people think of differences in characteristics we can see on the surface, such as skin color or gender. Diversity is more than that. Diversity is really about the stuff we can't see, such as perception, ways of thinking and feeling, beliefs, and values. Those differences we can't see show up in our communication and our behavior, and it's those differences we can't see that have the potential to create an unhealthy work environment. This course will offer you, a manager, an exercise that you can conduct with your team at your very next staff meeting. We'll help you highlight for your team that despite coming from different backgrounds, most people seek to be treated relatively the same. The exercise will also give you a chance to set some basic rules of behavior among your diverse team members, rules that they themselves create. So let's get started on how to run the exercise. If you have a large team, break your group up into smaller groups of 3 or 4. If you have a smaller team, put them into dyads. Then pose this question to your group. How would you like to be treated by your peers and managers? I'll say it again. How would you like to be treated by your peers and managers? Give your team about 10 minutes to come up with a list of behaviors that answer that question. When time is up, move from group to group, asking each to offer up their list. You will write the answers that you hear on a whiteboard or type them into a Word document that's projected on a screen. Now, I've done this exercise many times in many organizations of varying shapes and sizes. Every time, the list of behaviors each group came up with is the same as every other group. This is where the magic happens, though, because this is when your team realizes that each of them had the same list, despite differences. Basically, we all want to be treated with respect. We all want others to say thank you once in a while, to tell us if we're doing something incorrectly in a polite and constructive way, and to have fun at work once in a while. Now, how this unfolds will look different depending on culture. For example, while some people like public praise, others prefer praise in private. While some want clear and concise information about how to improve, others need the information to be less direct. So use this list to facilitate a discussion with your team about these differences. Encourage people to talk openly and freely about what they need. Not only will this give you a chance to show your team that they can and should feel free to discuss their differences, it will allow them to create ground rules for behaving. Now, as a manager, you can hold them accountable to behaviors that they themselves came up with. This course provided one exercise you can do with your team to get the conversation about diversity going. To recap the steps, first, break your groups into 2, 3, or 4, depending on the size of your group. Second, give them 10 minutes to come up with a list of answers to this question. How would you like to be treated by your peers and managers? Third, as you collect answers, write them on a whiteboard or projected Word document so that they can see they have similar answers. Fourth, use this combined list to show your team that they can and should feel free to discuss their differences and their needs. Fifth, consolidate the list into a set of ground rules that you can hold your employees accountable to. Finally, and most importantly, have fun with your team while you run this activity.